Hello, everyone. Welcome to One by One, a podcast where we uncover the stories, strategies, and secrets behind extraordinary success. I'm your podcast host, Robert Murigi, and we'll be building each other from the ground up. Join us as we uncover the blueprints of building a life, a career, or a business from the ground up. Subscribe now and never miss an episode from us. On our podcast today, we are going to explore more on the world of continuous innovation and how this would change and how this would have an impact in our day-to-day life. What is this changing landscape we are talking about? We have seen things happen and we have seen the way things are changing each and every day at a great speed. Whether it is in education, whether it is in business, whether it is in technology, everything is moving and it is moving quick. If we are able to talk about one thing here, and which will be our topic for our episode today, and that will be rust never sleeps. What do we mean about this? What is this rust we are talking about? We have experienced a lot of rust on the vehicles and equipments which have been kept in storage and have been kept outside in the rain, and it has been kept in with the dust and soil. We have seen those kind of equipments not doing very well in their long life. We see them breaking down even when they have not been used. Why does this happen? How can something that you're not using break down? This is what we are going to talk about today. If there is one thing that you want to do, but you cannot do because the tools that you need are all rusted out. Why? Because they were not taken care of, and that is why we have them rusted. We have that engine or that diesel compressor, or we have that diesel generator that you have been keeping inside the storage, or even motorbikes. What happens to them? You need to start that vehicle that you don't use each and every day. You need to start that motorbike. You need to start the generator each and every time so that we can shake the rust out of it. Therefore, on this episode today, we are going to look at that endless effort that you would have each and every day to make sure that you do not become stale, so that you don't become irrelevant, so that you don't become pointless in the job market. You don't become rentless in that thing that you're doing each and every day. What are the things that we could do to help us change these things? The dynamism that we are experiencing today, whether it is in education, whether it is in an ever-changing world, it is moving so quick and the speed cannot be bared by the people who are not moving at the same speed. What happens when you fall on the motorbike? Because that have happened to me in the past. It wasn't a good experience. But there is one thing that you would say is very important. That when you ride that bike, when it is doing 100 kilometers per hour, the same speed you are going at is the same speed that you'll be thrown at this particular instant. Why? Because the speeds are matching. When you were on that bike, whether it was a bike which was moving or it was anything else, the fact that anything which is on that bike is moving at the same speed the bike is moving. This helps to avoid deaths in the motorbikes. And people who do motocross, people who have big bikes, people who have average bikes, they know about it. if you were to have an accident with a motorbike and you slammed on against something, that would be a fatal incident for you. If you are able to move and throwing the machine until you are able to stabilize, you'd be safe in most cases. The impact you hit something with is what causes the damage. If you move and you do not have direction and you keep moving, you may not get hurt. But the time you will stop, you might realize you are in the wrong place. So everything becomes important. Mobility in our discipline, mobility in our ethics, mobility in our management, mobility in our skills. All these things help to stay in touch and to stay relatable day-to-day life activities. This kind of mindset being used by big corporations like Amazon, Apple, and Tesla. And they know that when you stop innovation, you stop growing. That day when you do not learn that one thing that could help you to become what you want, that is the day you start going backwards. That time when you as a manager, you break that communication channel between your employees and the management, most likely you're already going the wrong direction. Because when people start getting demotivated, people start looking for options. Human beings are changing people in each and everything that is happening every day. The reason why you are the way you are today, wherever you are in the world, wherever you are watching me from, is because you have been placed there. If you go to America, if you go to Australia, if you go to UK, you would probably start behaving and even talking like the people you find there. Why? Because the environment influences the way we do things and the way we look at things. And therefore, if we really wanted to change and to give ourselves value for that one thing that we want to become, what could we do? The first thing that we would do is to check your environment, because you can change your circumstance, but you cannot change the economy. You can change the way you look for money. You can change the way you talk to people so that you are able to do more sales, so that you are able to convince people that you are actually doing the right thing. If we all accepted to do that one extra thing in that area of not becoming stale in our lives, we would find ourselves doing more better things. We would find ourselves growing and becoming what we want each and every day. Therefore, how could we possibly develop this mindset of continuous learning? We should not be sitting back and saying, today I'm gonna do this thing, and I think I really need to clap for myself. You don't have time to clap for yourself. There are other things waiting for you, because this world is also not waiting for you. When you decide you do not want to study anymore, you have to have a contingency plan on what and how you're going to follow each and everything else which is going to come after that. When you say you want to follow education path, you have to know how far do you want to go and what do you want to drive out of it. Therefore, it is very important for us to develop mindset of continuous improvement in our life so that we can become what we want to become. What does this really mean? How can we possibly do these things? The first thing that we could easily do is confronting the fears that we have in our life. What are these things that you fear so much? What is this thing, one thing that you say, if I have to meet with this, it is better for me to evaporate? What is that one thing that you do not want to change and you know it is not serving you? If you had education, but it is not helping you after doing all that work, what could you do with that education so that it becomes of benefit to you? It would be good for us to embrace the mindset of curiosity. We want to be curious. Why is that thing happening like that? Why is my life like that? Why have I been feeling like that? Why am I not really performing at work? What is this one thing which is not working for me? Being open to new ideas, to new technologies, to new learnings, to new friendships, knowing different people who could help you possibly unravel that thing that have been giving you stress for all this time. It is good to develop a culture of trying things out, experimentation. See, when there are people who are trying to experiment new things and they are safe and they know at least what they are doing and they know, it is always very important for us to give them a chance. And that is only the same way that the baby knows how to crawl, they also know how to climb, and they also know how to walk. It is all about not sitting there and waiting to grow so that they can walk or run. It is a continuous struggle. It is a continuous struggle where they have to run one step by one. What are we doing? What are the things that we learn from all the small examples that we have? Like children when they're growing up, how they grow and they struggle and they put their mind in that thing. They keep climbing there, they fall, they climb again, they fall, they climb again until they get it right. Why have we become so lazy that we do not want to try any of these things out? Most of the organizations or companies, they normally come up with good policies of open communication. Whether you are from any level in the company, you could still come down and give an idea which the company might listen to because it might have possible good benefits to the organization. A culture of open communication and giving people, let people experiment things, let people share ideas regardless of their role within that particular organization. Like the change in AI. How are we going to be able to work with AI if we still stay and sit on that mindset of, no, I don't like to do anything with the computers? Because if this will be incorporated in our work spaces, yeah. And how are you going to work with AI if you're still outdated? You need to be able to think like AI. You need to be able to see what the AI can see so that you are able to work together with AI. I believe this is a very nice shared space between the world and the AI. What could we possibly do so that we can update ourselves, we can update our computer literacy so that we are able to work with this thing, so that they are able to help us. They are tools to help us to become more efficient, to be able to go through that task quicker, so that you are able to cover more. Because the one thing which is very scarce in this world is time. And I've said this in the last episode. And time being very scarce, the only one thing we would do, and we would do very well, is to create more time. Because time is there. But if I had to do one thing and I'm also doing another thing, it means that the thing I was to do for this time and also join with the time that I was to do for the other one, I've done it within one space, which means I have the other space to do another thing. You can create time by going to school, going back to and doing that course that would help you get a job quicker, so that you can get your experience quicker, so that you can be able to experience life and live a life that you wanted each and every day. The most important thing is to stay ahead of the curve. Do not be caught up, do not be left behind, and because we are using this as a good platform, and whether you are an aspiring entrepreneur or a seasoned professional or simply someone looking for inspiration, one by one will help you and will equip you with the foundation to make your own success story. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and hit that subscribe button and do your comment, because your comment helps us to bring the next success story. Thank you for listening for Build from the Ground Up. Remember, every great accomplishment starts with one single step. What will you build today? Until next time, keep building, keep striving, keep reaching for your dreams.